Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at something pretty interesting about AI stocks
Okay.
and kind of a bold prediction about, two companies that could potentially overtake Nvidia's market value by the end of 2025.
All right.
So get this.
Okay.
Nvidia's stock has surged over 180% since just January of 2024,
Wow.
pushing their market value to a mind-boggling $3.4 trillion.
A big number.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So how could any company catch them?
Well, that's what's so interesting about this Motley Fool article that we're taking a deep dive into today.
Okay.
It suggests that maybe it's not as far-fetched as it might sound.
Okay.
And they're kind of focusing on two companies in particular, Amazon and Alphabet,
Interesting.
as the potential contenders.
So what makes them think that those two companies in particular could close that gap in such a short time frame?
Well, a lot of it has to do with just the overall shift that's happening in the AI landscape right now.
Yeah.
So while Nvidia has ridden that initial AI wave incredibly well, they're providing the hardware.
Right.
The focus is really shifting towards cloud-based AI solutions. And that's where Amazon and Alphabet really have an edge.
Can we pause there for a second?
Sure.
Because I think it's important for us to define exactly what we mean by cloud-based AI solutions.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
that can sound pretty technical
Right.
for a lot of people.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
Instead of businesses needing to buy and manage all that expensive AI hardware themselves,
Right.
they can essentially rent the AI capabilities they need through the cloud,
Okay.
much like they already do with data storage
Right.
and software applications.
Got it.
So
they're essentially accessing AI as a service
exactly, on demand.
on demand.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
And this shift is really a game changer because it makes AI so much more accessible and affordable for a wider range of businesses. They don't need these huge upfront investments
Got it.
or specialized expertise to start integrating AI into their operations.
So how does this play into Amazon and Alphabet's potential?
Well, it all boils down to their existing strengths.
Okay.
Amazon, with its cloud computing division, AWS,
Right.
is already the dominant player in the cloud services market.
Right.
They're holding a 31% share.
Wow.
So that means they have the infrastructure, the reach, and the customer relationships to really quickly scale up
Right.
and offer those AI services on a massive level.
So they're really leveraging that current cloud dominance
Exactly.
to become a one-stop shop for all things AI.
Precisely. And don't forget, Amazon had a phenomenal third quarter in 2024.
Right.
Significant growth in AWS and advertising.
Yeah.
So they're not just sitting around, they're actively investing in AI,
Right.
developing their own custom AI chips like Trainium and Inferentia.
Now, those chip names sound familiar.
Yeah.
But I need a little bit of a refresher.
Sure.
How do those fit into this whole equation?
Okay. So think of these chips as specialized processors designed specifically for AI tasks.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that Amazon is positioning them as a more cost-effective alternative to NVIDIA's GPUs, which are kind of the current industry standard.
So are they going head-to-head in the chip market then?
It's a little more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Trainium and Inferentia are really optimized for different types of AI workloads.
Okay.
So Trainium excels at that training phase,
Okay.
where massive data sets are used to teach AI models. Inferentia, on the other hand, is designed for that inference stage,
Okay.
where those trained models are put to work making predictions and decisions.
So they're kind of covering both ends of the AI spectrum there.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever.
And they're not stopping there.
Okay.
They also have this Bedrock AI platform,
Right.
which helps developers build and customize their own AI applications,
Okay.
and Amazon Q, a coding assistant
Oh, wow.
that uses AI to boost programmer productivity.
So it's like they're building this whole ecosystem around AI within their existing cloud infrastructure. They're really going all in on this.
They are.
But can they generate the kind of growth needed to catch up to NVIDIA?
Well, Wall Street analysts are already projecting a 26% earnings growth for Amazon in the coming year.
Wow.
And some believe that with this surge in AI adoption,
Right.
they could very well exceed those expectations.
That's a big jump.
It is, remember, their current market value is $2.3 trillion. So they need a substantial 52% return to hit that $3.5 trillion mark
Okay.
and surpass Nvidia.
Wow. So Amazon's strategy really hinges on making AI accessible and affordable through the cloud,
Yeah.
leveraging their existing infrastructure and their customer base. And if they play their cards right, those earnings could really take off.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to Alphabet.
Okay.
What's their angle in all of this?
Well, their approach is a little different. They're coming at it with this really deep well of AI expertise.
Right.
I mean, they've been pioneers in areas like search, voice assistance, image recognition, all these things that are so heavily reliant on AI.
Right.
They've been in the AI game for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
And that's reflected in the products and services that they're developing.
Yeah.
And it's not just like they're playing catch up either.
Right.
They've been developing and refining these technologies for years.
Right. And they also have their own custom AI chips too, don't they?
Oh, absolutely.
I remember reading something about Forrester Research recognizing them as a leader in several different AI categories.
Yeah, Forrester placed them at the forefront for AI infrastructure, machine learning platforms,
Okay.
and large language models.
So they've got a solid foundation and a pretty good history of AI innovation.
They do.
So where does that put them financially?
Okay.
Do they have the same potential as Amazon to surpass Nvidia?
Well, they're currently sitting at a $2.4 trillion valuation.
Okay.
So they'd need a 46% return to reach that $3.5 trillion target.
Okay.
And similar to Amazon, their third quarter in 2024 was quite strong, particularly the growth of Google Cloud.
Right.
Even their advertising revenue from Google services held steady,
Okay.
which was a good sign.
Didn't Google Cloud actually gain market share while Microsoft lost some ground?
Yes, they secured an additional 2% of the market,
Wow.
which really demonstrates their growing strength in the cloud computing arena.
So they're not just an AI powerhouse, they're also a cloud contender too.
That's true.
Things are getting interesting.
Right.
What are analysts saying about their potential for growth?
Well, Wall Street is predicting a 14% earnings growth
Okay.
for Alphabet in the next 4 quarters.
Okay.
But again, similar to Amazon, there's a thought that this could be a conservative estimate, given the potential of AI-driven growth.
Okay, so both companies have pretty compelling strengths
Yeah.
and impressive growth projections.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier that there is a pending antitrust case against Alphabet.
Right.
Could that impact their ability to compete in this AI race?
Well, that's a really important point.
Yeah.
The outcome of that case could certainly have implications for their future prospects.
Right.
It's definitely something to keep in mind.
So while Alphabet has a lot going for them in terms of expertise and potential,
Yes.
there's also this looming uncertainty. It's like a wild card that could shake things up.
For sure.
This is getting pretty intense.
It is.
But let's step back for a moment beyond just the financial aspect.
Okay.
What does the shift towards cloud-based AI solutions actually mean for the average person?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
He's saying.
This isn't just about, which company boasts the biggest market cap or anything.
Right.
It's really about how AI is going to permeate our daily lives even more than it already does.
So we're not just talking about stock prices. We're talking about a potential societal shift.
Exactly. Imagine a world where
Yeah.
smaller businesses, startups, even individual developers have access to the same powerful AI tools that were once exclusive to tech giants.
Okay.
Cloud-based AI democratizes access to this technology.
Right.
And it could really lead to an explosion of innovation in all sorts of fields.
That's an incredible thought.
It is.
Like suddenly the playing field is level.
Yeah,
And anyone with a good idea can leverage AI to bring it to life.
exactly.
So it's not just about who's winning the AI stock race.
Right.
It's about how this technology can be used to solve real-world problems and create new possibilities.
Yeah,
So you hit the nail on the head.
I think so.
And that brings us back to the core of this Motley Fool prediction.
Right.
While the idea of Amazon or Alphabet surpassing Nvidia by 2025 is a bold one,
Sure.
it really underscores a much larger point.
Which is?
That AI is evolving at an incredible pace,
Mm-hmm.
and that the companies who can adapt and innovate
Right.
are the ones who will ultimately shape the future.
Precisely whether or not these specific predictions come to pass.
Right.
One thing is, for certain, AI is here to stay,
Yeah.
and it's going to impact all of us in profound ways.
And that makes it even more crucial to understand the forces at play.
Yeah.
And the potential implications, not just for investors, but for society as a whole.
Absolutely.
But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We've talked about the big picture,
Right.
but I want to circle back to the financial side for a moment.
Sure.
We keep mentioning these projected earnings growth numbers.
Yeah.
Let's dig into those a bit more.
All right, so remember, analysts are projecting a 26% earnings growth for Amazon
Right.
and a 14% growth for Alphabet in the coming year.
Right. And we touched on how those numbers could potentially be exceeded if the demand for cloud-based AI services really takes off.
Yeah.
But what are the factors that could cause those projections to fall short?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
There are always risks involved.
Right.
It's not just about the raw revenue from AI services. It's also about how effectively they can integrate AI into their existing operations and use it to drive efficiencies and cost savings.
So, for example, how well can they leverage AI to optimize logistics, personalize advertising, or even automate certain customer service functions?
Exactly.
I see. So even if the demand for AI services is there,
Right.
their ability to execute and capitalize on it will determine their true success.
For sure.
It's not a guaranteed win.
Not at all. And we also need to consider the broader economic landscape as well.
Right.
Any unforeseen downturns or shifts in consumer spending could impact those growth projections too.
So there are internal factors like their ability to execute and external factors like the overall economy
Right.
that could impact their performance.
Exactly. And let's not forget about competition.
Right.
It's not just a two-horse race between Amazon and Alphabet. There are other major players in the cloud and AI space who are vying for market share.
Right.
Microsoft, for example, is a formidable competitor
Yeah.
with their Azure cloud platform and their own AI initiatives.
You know, it's interesting you bring up Microsoft because earlier we talked about how they actually lost cloud market share to Google. Do you think that makes them more likely to double down on their AI efforts to catch up?
That's a very astute observation.
Thanks.
It's certainly possible that they'll see AI as a key area where they can regain lost ground
Right.
and differentiate themselves from the competition. I mean, they've already made significant investments in AI research and development.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a space they're taking seriously.
This is getting more and more intriguing.
It is.
It's not just about Amazon and Alphabet.
Right.
It's about this entire ecosystem of companies competing and collaborating,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of AI, and trying to figure out how to leverage it for their own advantage.
You're absolutely right. It's like this high-stakes chess match
Totally.
with each company making strategic moves,
Right.
anticipating their opponent's actions,
Yeah.
and trying to stay one step ahead.
And in the middle of all this are the investors
Right.
trying to decipher the signals,
Yeah.
assess the risks, and ultimately decide where to place their bets.
It's a fascinating time to be following the AI market, that's for sure.
It really is.
But it's also important to remember that while those earnings projections give us some insights,
Right.
they're not crystal balls.
Yeah.
There are so many variables at play
Right.
that it's impossible to predict the future with certainty.
So it sounds like the key takeaway here is that while Amazon and Alphabet have the potential to surpass Nvidia,
Yeah.
it's far from a foregone conclusion.
Right.
There are a lot of factors that could influence the outcome, and it's going to be a fascinating journey to watch unfold.
Exactly. And as we've discussed, it's not just about the financial aspects either.
Right.
This AI revolution has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways.
Which brings us to a really important question.
Okay.
What does it all mean for us?
Right. How will this technology impact our lives, our jobs, our society as a whole?
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It does.
What will our world look like in a few years?
Right.
As AI becomes even more integrated into our lives.
Right.
It's both exciting and a little daunting at the same time.
It is, and it's happening faster than most people realize.
Right.
We've gone from AI being this kind of abstract concept
Yeah.
to it being interwoven into so many aspects of our daily experiences.
Right.
Often without us even realizing it.
Which is why I think these conversations are so important.
Absolutely.
We need to stay informed,
Yeah,
engaged,
for sure.
and think critically about the implications of this technology.
Yeah, we can't just ignore it.
Right. It's not something we can just take for granted.
I wholeheartedly agree. Knowledge is power,
Absolutely.
especially when we're navigating a world that's changing as rapidly as ours.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to the original question that sparked this deep dive.
Okay.
Will Amazon or Alphabet actually surpass Nvidia in market value by the end of 2025?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
It's a bold prediction.
It is.
And honestly, only time will tell.
Right.
But what we can say for sure is that the AI landscape is undergoing a massive transformation right now. This shift towards cloud-based AI solutions is opening up a huge opportunity for companies like Amazon and Alphabet,
Right.
who are already well positioned to capitalize on it.
Right. They each have their own unique strengths, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
Amazon with its vast cloud infrastructure and Alphabet with its deep AI expertise. It's going to be really fascinating to see how this competition unfolds.
It is.
And what innovations emerge along the way.
Absolutely. And remember, even if those specific predictions don't pan out exactly as forecast,
Right.
both companies have laid a really strong foundation for long-term growth in this AI-driven future.
Right.
They're not just chasing trends,
Yeah.
they're shaping them.
So for you listening, we want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Which company do you think is best poised to lead the next wave of the AI revolution?
Let us know in the comments.
Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, we're genuinely curious to know what you think.
We are, and here's a final thought to ponder as we wrap up this deep dive. As Amazon, Alphabet, and other companies pour resources into developing even more sophisticated AI,
Right.
how will this technology further reshape our lives in the years ahead?
That's a big question.
It is, what new possibilities will it unlock?
Yeah.
And what new challenges will we need to address?
That's a question we all need to grapple with.
It is.
Not just the tech giants or the investors.
Right.
The future of AI isn't just being written in research labs and boardrooms. It's being shaped by our collective choices, our ethical considerations, and the kind of world we want to create.
That's a powerful reminder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI stocks.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Absolutely.
and keep learning.
Yeah,
And never forget, the future is brimming with possibilities.
it is.